See if it's going. Let's see, my mouse is somewhere else. There we go. Happy Magic Monday. Let me turn off the volume, make sure it's all good. All right, there we go. So I'll lift this up a little. Oh. Let's see if it's stuck. Let's see. I wanted you to see the pumpkins behind me because that's part of what we're going to make today. Let's see if it... There we go. Yeah, so you see those pumpkins behind me? We're going to make some of those today. And then we're also going to make a Cinderella pumpkin right now. So, yeah. So I hope everyone's having a great day. It's Dia de los Muertos Day. So I hope that anyone that celebrates that has a great day. I did my own little remembrance of my family, for my family. Yeah, so that was all I had to talk about for a second. I'm just going to go ahead and get us started on our activity. I have some Cinderella inspired crafts today, and hopefully you'll like them. So, all right, thanks. There we go. Alrighty, let's get some light on the subject. So what we're doing today is we're using these. The reason why I'm actually going to show you this paper pumpkin again is because of the fact that it's still available on StampinUp.com. The refill kit is still available. So that means it will not have the stamp set or the ink included. But as you can see, it makes these little pumpkins or apples. But, so if you order the refill kit, you would just be getting, you would not get the stamp set and you would not get any ink. So I'll show you what you can do if you don't have a stamp set. So what I wanted us to do today is I wanted to make a little Cinderella inspired pumpkin, and then we're going to make a carriage. So as you can see, these, if you don't know what a paper pumpkin is, it actually includes everything, and I mean everything, to make the craft. That's what normally is included in a paper pumpkin, in its normal monthly paper pumpkin. So you get everything you need, including the ink, the stamps, everything. Well, what's available online is the refill, but you can only buy the refill if you are subscribed to Paper Pumpkin. So I always tell people to, you can pause your subscription, you can cancel it at any time, but if you just pause it during months that you don't send things out or make things, you can always buy the past kits when they are available. Now, sometimes they're not available. The Christmas card kit that I showed you guys the other day already sold out. It was released, I think, on Monday or Tuesday, and it was sold out like the next day. So sometimes the kits will sell out immediately and sometimes not. So it shows you how to put together this whole thing. Well, I thought I would make a pumpkin very Cinderella-y looking. So I went ahead and you see it even has the leaf cutouts and things like that. So what I was going to show you is, so we have a couple choices of pumpkin. I don't know if I want to use the orange or the light orange. Let's see. I think I'm going to use the orange. I think I'm going to use that one this time. And you see, I have a couple leaves that are already stamped out, and then I have one that isn't stamped out, so I can show you what to do if you don't have the stamps. You don't even have to do anything to it, even though it's not stamped. You could easily just add this to a craft, no problem. So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put together a little pumpkin. And you put the glue on the outside of this little strip here, because this one gets tucked in. And then these little glue strips go on the bottom label, bottom part here. Oops, I didn't pick up the glue. I just pulled off the tab. Let me see if I can salvage that strip. Take my tweezers. I think that's salvaged. And so usually I can just peel them without getting the tweezers, because the tweezers really peel off the paper. And so I try not to use the tweezers unless I'm going to peel off the paper. Pull off. But there's lots of glue in here. I don't even have to try that hard to save the glue. I just, you know. If I were in your situation, this is how I would do it. Now, if this isn't sticky enough, I'll put another piece on. Okay. Oh, that piece, I need some extra glue on it. This one folded on me, so I need some extra glue. All right, so we go ahead and we are going to fold these all down. So we go ahead and we put this octagon here. Okay. All right, so what I always recommend is you take your little bone folder and we just kind of press down inside where we put that glue down, just to make sure it's really popped in there. Oops. It's a little, another reason why you have cat scissors, to get that little random cat hair out. Okay. So there we go. So we have our pumpkin. So then we can take a pencil or we can take our bone folder and we just kind of curl this a little. I made lights, which I can show you how to make lights. I was just going to show you how to make a little, oh, I need to plug in the hot glue gun. I just realized. Plug this in. We're using a hot glue gun today. So, gotta plug that in. And so when you just gently rub the bone folder or a pencil along, it just gives that little bit of curve to your pumpkin, but not too hard. You don't need to pull too hard. I pulled a little too hard on one of them. This one I didn't get. It just gives just the right curve. Okay, so what's going to happen is what you do is you go ahead and you push in your first two links and you close those up. Okay, then you push these little tongues underneath, I guess. I don't know if they're tongues, but push the other two underneath. Then you're going to hook this one way around the back here. And it'll clip around the back. It's a little tricky, but it will go through. There we go. You just have to, you push it way under and then slide it. This is after doing several. And I've still ripped some here and there. See, this one I'm probably not, oh, I bent this. I bent this one a little bit. This one I'm probably not going to actually put any treats in, but you could. So what they recommend you do is you actually just take this wire and you curl it up to make the topper for your twine for the top. But instead, to make it a Cinderella pumpkin, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and put some ribbon. So I have a couple types of ribbon to try. So I have this ribbon here, which is the Old Olive. It's the Old Olive and Pretty Peacock doubles reversible ribbon. It's very shimmery. And then I have the Just Jade ribbon with all this glittery braiding, the Just Jade braided ribbon. And so I was not really sure which one I wanted. For all the ones that I made, I used the Just Jade because to me it feels a little bit brighter. So I think I'm going to stick with that tradition and just do Just Jade. Okay. And then I just put this washi tape on here to hold the ribbon down so it doesn't slide everywhere. Okay, so, oh, I still need a little bit of wire. Let me see, one of these is a little bit shorter. Yeah, this one. So I still need a little bit of wire. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of wire into an L shape. You don't have to do it. I just did because I wanted. These are wire cutting scissors. Oops, there it is. Flew away. These scissors are not wire cutting, but they're serrated, really strong. They're from Tim Holtz. But, and I recommend them only because they're serrated and good for cutting like really thick stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and make my little stem, take my wire, and I just cut a little piece. You can use regular scissors too, it'll cut it, but, and I'm going to make it into a little L shaped, and then I'm going to hot glue it on here. Now remember, once I start hot gluing this, you're not going to be able to reopen this particular little pumpkin. This is really just for decoration, this particular project. I guess you could try and glue it down with the glue dot, but because we're going to be adding all the Cinderella embellishments, it probably wouldn't work that great as a, since this side is bent, I think I'm going to turn this way. Okay. It probably wouldn't work that great as a little treat holder. I'm thinking they'd be cool as like a little placeholder would be fun, like at Thanksgiving or a birthday party. Well, since it's Cinderella, obviously I always want it to be a birthday party. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take I'm going to take, let's see, I want it to go 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And so I want to say it's about, let's see how many inches. I guess 4 to 5 inches of ribbon. Let me get my ribbon snips. And I think I'll take 2 pieces. They don't have to be exactly the same size. Just about 4 to 5 inches of ribbon. Nothing too crazy. And we're going to make sparkly vines because it's a Cinderella pumpkin. So I felt like the Just Jade was the perfect thing to add for the vines. So I actually can add, if this is still fresh, no, oh, it is fresh. It's actually not, it's not rejecting it. I actually might need to still put a little more down. Okay. And then I'm going to put this one down right here. So we've got 2 pieces of ribbon. Little threads coming off. I know some people can do their hot gluing without those threads, but I don't know. I never managed to do it without a thread or 2. I peel them off or cut them off later, but okay. So we've got our little ribbons tucked down. So then what we're going to do is we're going to curl them into like tendrils of a vine. Okay, and this is a very soft, there's no wire in this ribbon. So how am I going to get it to stay? Some people will tell you to use like a hairspray or bake it or different things. I actually had a simpler vision, and I'm just going to hot glue it down. But first I'm going to seal the end of my ribbon with a little bit of flame. So you hold your ribbon end. Oops, let me hold this away from the paper. And you just barely let it, just barely touch it to the edge of the wire or edge of the ribbon. I know it looked like it was about to touch my finger. It wasn't. In the video, it looks like I'm being really not cautious, but I promise you I was. And it just keeps, it seals the edge of the ribbon so it won't fray anymore. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually add a little glue dot here and a little glue dot in a couple other places to get it to hold down. Not glue dot, a little dab of hot glue. That's what I always do, a little dab of hot glue. So I'm going to put a little dab, just a touch. It doesn't have to be even, I barely even pull the trigger. You just want a little bit to hold it into place. You don't want it to be like crazy sealed. And you can also make your loops bigger and smaller. Oops, it dried on me already because I was talking. There we go. My little vine loops, I don't want them to be, they don't have to all be the same size. So, and they can be going in different directions. They can be doing different things. And I think the next one I'm going to put right there where that little spot is. I love pumpkins. Okay. And you see, that is enough to hold the curls for your decoration. And so this particular vine is like really long. I actually could have gotten away with it being a little bit shorter, but that's okay. And so it just curls around. So then we can take this one. I think having two is kind of fun. So let's see, which way do I want to curl it? I want to curl it this way. Yeah, and maybe I'll just curl it a little bit bigger. And see how I want to go. Yeah, I'm going to cut off more of this one so it's not as long as that other one. And then remember, we're going to seal the edge of the ribbon. I'm just holding it just barely to the flame. You'll get a tiny flicker, but it shouldn't be too crazy. And it just seals up that little extra bit of ribbon so that it doesn't fray. And this particular ribbon frays very easily. So, all right. So now I've got my loop ready. You see, now I've got my second loop ready. So I'm ready to just put that down. As soon as I get that hot glue in place, I'm going to put that ribbon right down now that my loop is ready. Because when I was talking, I let it dry and that kind of messed things up. So that loop was nice and big. And then we'll get another loop and then put a little dab right there. Oops, whoops, whoops. Might need to, whoops. That's what I get for not having it ready in my hand. There we go. There we go. So there we go. That one is, you can see how they have a different, but you know, pumpkin vines are not intended to be, I might actually move this one just a little bit because it's a little too flat hanging down, but that's okay. And so you see this one is nice and curly Q again. I don't like that this is so flat down the side, but it actually still looks pretty cute. Now, the other thing I did to make some of these pumpkins is I made them into lanterns behind me. So the design on the top was just like I did here. And then we took a couple of these leaves. So if you don't have any leaves, this is the Just Jade braided ribbon. So if you don't have the stamp set, you can easily still just put the leaf down to cover up. I need the leaf to cover up my messy glue, okay? So I can put that leaf down there. You could also draw the veins on without any issue. I happen to have one right here, so I'm gonna go just glue it down because I have one that's already stamped. But if you don't, you could easily draw these lines on it. I mean, look, they're not too complicated. Just draw some. They don't even have to be as many. You can make less. You can just do the basic. Let me hold that down a second longer. So there's my little Cinderella pumpkin. What I forgot to show you was that you could easily make this into a tea light lantern, which is what I had meant to do, and I forgot. But that's okay. So you can turn it into a tea light lantern. You can also add some, poke some holes around the sides of your pumpkin, and it will and install a little Christmas lights, and it'll glow. So that's our one little pumpkin. So now let's go to our next one. The next one is the same thing. We're going to be taking one of the pumpkins. So I wanted to show you how to make the pumpkin carriage with the same thing with the pumpkin. Oh, this is my little vine came off the top. So there's two types of this soft succulent. I actually chose to use this one here that was a little bit lighter. You can see this one is a little more, it has a dark texture, and this one has a lighter texture. So I went ahead and used that one. So I'm going to put that one together. And my little vine came off. I need to glue it down, I guess. So we'll go ahead and we'll glue this all together. Where'd my glue strips go? There we go. Right, so we just score all of our sides, burnish them, I guess, little flaps. Okay, and so I start from the little, not octagon, the hexagon, and I go to the left. So I put the first tab, then I go to the next one, peel off my little piece of paper, but I do it one at a time. Just helps me keep track. I don't think I did that on the other one. I think that was also because this is probably like the 14th little pumpkin I've made. So you kind of skip steps sometimes when you have done something before. Look how cute the inside of this pumpkin is. Oh, so what I forgot to show you again, if I wanted to make this a little, I wonder if I can make a little lantern. So if I want to make this a lantern where I plug the lights in, I would just hole punch onto each panel, just a few holes. Let me see if I can pull one off. Oh, that one fell off. But then I just threw it. Pulled one from the light and then I threw it down. So as you can see, oh, see this one ripped. See this one ripped actually when I was pulling it off. But you see I put the little holes all throughout so that when I can plug in the light, you can actually have the light showing. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do to attach this again because I ripped it. it was just sticking out of this one little hole, and then it ripped the whole thing. This hole was a little too big, so I'll figure something out. So yeah, but the light will shine through, and all I did was I added my little tendrils to the top, and then added a couple leaves to cover up the mess. And that was my little pumpkin light. I could also make one as a lantern, I think. I'll have to look and see if I can do that. But these are our Cinderella inspired ones. Okay, so we put our little, oops, I gotta burnish, make this a little bit rounder. Let me get the pen. The pen won't bend it. It'll keep it round. I think the bone folder is a little too flat, so it kind of folded it on that one side. The pen or pencil just is enough to get it round. This is just burnishing the paper so that it's more flexible and ready for what you want it to do. All right, so we'll go ahead and push the center in, and then we hook the one, and just like the other one, we push this in, and we pull this all the way down under the flap. Whoops, don't let the other one come undone. There we go. And all three will interlink. It just takes a little practice, but it will work, I promise. Then, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take our, my little vine came undone. I might have to hot glue this down, my little vine. So we're gonna make a little vine for the top. And you just curl it into curlicues. Then you find where you want it to be a horseshoe. So I just undid one of the loops so that it was a horseshoe shape, okay? And that way the horseshoe will hook underneath here. And you're gonna tie some ribbon to it. So we'll do that in a minute. So then we take our actual, our twine again, our wire, twine wire, raffia wire, whatever you wanna call it. And we're going to make our wheels. So for the wheels, you're gonna curl, but just a little, because it's not gonna be as tight, okay? And I'm gonna curl one more, and then I'll have to undo it a little bit so that it'll be like a bigger wheel. Okay, there we go. So then I just curled it towards, you see, I'm just curling it towards the center so that I get this like kind of ear shape. And then this middle part is gonna pop up like that so that we can have our little wheel inspired shape, okay? Okay, so I tied it kind of tightly, and then I just kind of undid it. Let me see, into the ear. It's kind of hit or miss on this. This one is not cooperating as much as the other one was. And we want it in our little ear shape. Let's see. No, this needs to be curled a little bit more. This one curled in like that. This one needs to be curled up. There we go. And so I just try to make them as parallel as I can get. They're not going to be exactly the same, but pretty close. This one needs to be a little less elongated and more circular. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. Done. So we've got that. And so then we're going to go ahead and we're going to, this is the back because the seam is down here. So I'm going to put one on the back and one on the front. I'm going to put it near the bottom so they can actually, and you can still adjust these wires a little bit too. So I'm going to put it near the bottom because I want it to sit on the wheels. So we want to bend it up a little bit. So, because we want it to sit on the wheels. We don't want it to be. We don't want it to be sitting on the bottom. And for this, you want to hold it down. And we're going to cover that glue with a bow. So we'll just let this hot glue hold here. We're almost done. Okay, there we go. That seems to be holding. So then we take our other one. Afraid to, no, we'll let it sit a little bit longer. Hurry up and wait. So you see, I just tried to make sure that they matched up. Let's see. I need to adjust this one a little bit more. No, it's pretty close. And so I'll put hot glue on this side. And put this on as well. And live and learn. Don't set it down too quick, because if you do, you'll find out that it'll start to slide down, and then you rip the pumpkin, which I've done before too. I think that's done. So then we have our little carriage that can sit on its own wheels. And this one is a little bent, so I'll move it out. And this one's a little bent. It's a little crooked. So this one needs to come down a bit. There we go. You can adjust it, and see, now we're going to put little bows on the area where we had the hot glue, so that we can cover up that hot glue. ahead and use the flame again. Oh, that was a little stronger than I wanted. That's okay. All right, let me get this bow. Fast. So remember, you can always buy these. If you sign up for Paper Pumpkin, if you're a current Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get the refill kit for the crafts that are each month. Now, they sometimes sell out really fast, like I told you earlier about the Christmas one that sold out super fast. So that one was no longer available. It sold out like really, really fast within, I think, a day or two. And so it's hit or miss as to whether a refill will become available right away, and whether, whoops, there we go. Let's see, are these about the same size? Yeah. Let's go ahead and seal that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put my ribbon right down there. Now it's covering up that little glue and still adding that little decorative element. You could even put some shoes. We actually have a shoe die cut in this in the catalog. It's called All Dressed Up, and it has a shoe stamp and a shoe die cut. I just chose to use ribbon in this particular case. I just thought it'd be fun because it's not like there's shoes on the actual carriage. Someone else cut out the inside of this and made little windows and cut out their own silhouette of Cinderella, which I thought was fun too. But that was a little more work than I wanted to do. I didn't want to spend that much time on a little pumpkin carriage. I wanted mine to be a little more simple, a little more accessible. That's the better word, not simple, accessible. Because not everyone can do that level of skill sometimes. I'm always in awe of people that can do really highly skilled cards. And it doesn't mean that I don't admire the cards, but it's not really my style or my skill to spend an hour on one card. That's not really my style. Assembling it, even cutting and assembling and all that. Everyone has their different style. Knowing their strengths is good. Okay, so we've got that done. Then we have our little vine that we already curled up. So I want to put a little, once I tag it under, I'll do that. So then instead of tying bows on the vine, and instead of making separate vines out of this ribbon, I decided just to tie little knots around the ribbon, around the vine, and then let it fray a little. Because, I don't know, something about it, it was still sparkly and still added this little whimsy without it being too formal. Oops. I don't know, I might have to trim that up. I think I have to trim it. That got out of hand. Let me cut a little piece. Oh, no, that's not too long. There we go. I wanted to tie it into a little double knot. I don't know. I guess I didn't tie it into a double knot. Did I? No, I think I just let it stay and then frayed the edges. Because it was kind of nice just having that fun little where it wasn't so formal. And my other pieces just kept getting stuck. One more piece right here. And it's just to add a little something to it, to the vine, that makes it a little more glittery without making a totally new vine out of ribbon. Just something different. There we go. There we go. And just pull it tightly. I didn't even trim it extra low. Okay, and let's trim this a little bit shorter. Okay, we'll trim that up a little bit more and pull that just a little frayed, just the edges. Just the edges frayed. This one I think I'll fray. Cut a little more off too. Okay, and then what you do is you hook your vine underneath the edge of your little pumpkin here. It's just going to hook under just a little. It's not going to stay under permanently. It's just enough to hook it under so that it can shine and be hanging off. Let me go through this side. There we go. So just a little something so that you've got your cute little Cinderella pumpkin. Then we've got our Cinderella pumpkin with the other colors. And I just realized that if I cut off this here, cut off this hexagon, and I folded it all together, I would have a hole at the bottom. And that would actually make a little tea light without any issue. So you wouldn't have to put, worry about the holes for the lights, the string of lights. You could actually just do it. Here, I'm going to show you with this one because I can. Maybe I'll make it red. Oops, those are my fabric scissors. Okay. So what I was meaning is I could easily just reinforce, fold all these tabs down. And I think I'm just going to use the hot glue because it's here handy. So don't even cut off those tabs. It's okay, you can leave those tabs. Just fold them in. It just occurred to me that I could make a tea light. And I think that was my plan in my head when I was making the other one. Oh, I'm still making a Cinderella one and I didn't mean to. Okay, and so you're going to fold all the flaps down. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to turn, I'm going to fold and attach this here. And I'm just going with the hot glue just because it's what I have handy and easy access to right now this second. Sometimes, there we go. All right, so I'm going to fold this down. I meant to make it red, but I didn't. There we go. Cool. All right, so fold that all down. All right, then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to curl our edges. And the only thing I need to do though is I need to get my hole punch here, which I should have done already, but that's what I get for creating on the sly, on the fly, on the sly. And we're going to attach our little pumpkin pieces. Oh, yes, it will work. So I just realized, so I don't really want my holes too big. So I'm using this little hole punch. It's like a 1/16 punch. And I did it in 4s only because I didn't want it to be too matchy even, or a face, you know. Too bad I don't have a handy tea light to show you. Here I'm telling you, but the tea lights are, I might be able to grab one. Let me see if I can grab a tea light. Found it. I was cleaning out my Halloween closet. Perfect size for a tea light. And so let me turn off this little light and pop it to the side. And you can see, I don't know if you can see the light. So it just gives off a faint little glow inside, just a tiny little glow. So what I'll do is I'll decorate this whole top, just like I did this one here. I'll decorate the whole top with the ribbon, and then I have my own little Cinderella tea light. And so this one's not super bright, but it's just to give the little slight effect. Now, if I use the bigger hole punch, I would have a bigger, I would have more light coming through, but I also didn't want the holes to be too big. I guess I liked having the holes be smaller. So yeah, so fun. So a tea light would work in there. The key is you just cut off the hexagon. Once you cut that off and reinforce it flops in, then you can easily insert it. So you'll just set down your light, put your pumpkin on top, and you're done. So 3 little projects. So, all right, well, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. All right, thanks, bye.